All right, so I've been watching soccer for years, and I gotta tell you something that took me way too long to figure out. A straight red card is brutal. No warning, no yellow card first, the ref just points at the tunnel and that's it. You're done. Your team's playing the rest of the game a man down. And for the longest time, I thought it only happened on those nasty tackles, the two-footed slide, studs up, everybody in the stadium gasps at once. I figured that was basically the only way it happened. Turns out I was way off. There's at least 8 different ways to get sent off instantly, and some of them have nothing to do with violence at all. One of them, I swear, you can get without even touching the ball or saying a single word anybody can actually hear. Let me walk you through what I've learned. The obvious one: serious foul play. This is the one everybody pictures first. Studs showing, way too much force, genuinely endangering the other guy's safety. In theory, the ref is supposed to weigh intent, speed, all that. In practice, from what I've seen, if it looks reckless enough to actually break someone's leg, it's red, no debate. And honestly, you know the type of player. The one who's already lost the ball, panics, and just runs through the guy instead of even trying to defend. That's not defending. That's a red card with extra steps. Violent conduct. This one surprised me because it's different from the tackle thing. Serious foul play happens around the ball. Violent conduct can happen literally anywhere on the pitch, anytime. Punches, headbutts, elbows thrown off the ball, stamping during some random scuffle. Here's the part that got me. Players have been sent off for stuff that happened nowhere near the actual play. The ball doesn't even need to be involved. Sounds simple, right? It isn't. Sometimes it's just a sneaky elbow in a crowded box during a corner kick. Nobody in the stands even notices, but VAR does. Denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Okay, this one confused me for years, not gonna lie. Picture this. A striker's through on goal, nobody left to beat except the keeper. The defender just grabs him from behind instead of actually defending the situation. That's not just a regular foul. That's stopping a near-certain goal through an illegal method. Straight red. In theory, this protects attacking play. Without it, defenders would just foul their way out of every dangerous situation, and nobody would ever score. In practice, this is one of the most argued about calls in the entire sport. Was it really a clear chance? Would he have actually scored? The refs got like 2 seconds to decide something fans debate for years. Handball. Denying a goal. You remember Luis Suarez punching the ball off the line against Ghana? Yeah, that's this rule. Any player who isn't the goalkeeper uses their hands to stop a basically guaranteed goal. That's a straight red. Here's the twist that always gets me. Sometimes it actually works out for the team that committed it. Suarez's Uruguay survived that one. Ghana missed the penalty. Everybody was furious, and honestly, fair enough. So is a red card plus a missed penalty really enough punishment for denying a certain goal with your hands? People have argued about that for over a decade now. I still don't have a clean answer for it. Spitting. Yeah, this is real. Spitting at anyone, opponent, teammate, the ref, even a ball boy. It's automatic, no exceptions. No force needed, no injury needed. Just pure disrespect, and that's apparently enough. I think this one actually makes sense, though. It's not about danger, it's about basic human decency. The rule book treats it just as seriously as throwing a punch, and honestly, I'm fine with that. Offensive language or gestures. This is the one most people completely forget about, myself included until I really dug into it. You don't have to touch anyone. Say the wrong thing to the ref, an opponent, or even the crowd, and you're walking off immediately. In theory, this keeps the game respectful. In practice, I've seen this end careers in massive moments. Guys sent off in cup finals just for losing their temper for 1 second after a bad call. 1 second of frustration, and now it's the only thing people remember about you. The mouth covering rule. Okay, this next one is genuinely the weirdest thing I've learned recently, and it just happened, so stay with me. World Cup 2026, Paraguay versus Turkey. Stoppage time, first half. Miguel Almiron gets into it with a Turkish defender named Mert Mulder after a foul. Words get exchanged. Almiron puts his hand over his mouth and says something nobody could hear. That's it. That's literally the whole crime. He didn't push anybody, didn't even say anything we know to be offensive. He just covered his mouth while talking. Straight red. First one in World Cup history for this specific rule. And when I first heard about it, I genuinely thought it was a joke. But here's what I found out. This rule isn't random at all. It came from a Champions League incident where a player was accused of saying something racist to an opponent while hiding his mouth behind his shirt. Nobody could prove what was actually said. The ref had to stop the whole match and run an entire investigation just to figure out what happened. So FIFA's reasoning is pretty simple when you think about it. If you can't see what's being said, you can't catch the abuse. So now, the act of covering up itself is the violation. Doesn't even matter what you actually said. That sounds extreme to me, and honestly, it kind of is. But not every single mouth cover gets you sent off. And this is the part I think people get wrong. Case 1. The confrontation. This is Almiron's exact situation. Two players already going back and forth, one of them covers his mouth to talk. That's exactly what this rule is built for. Tense moment, hidden words, no way to verify anything. Straight red, no second chances. Case 2. The friendly chat. Two former teammates, now playing for different national teams, jogging past each other mid-game. One covers his mouth to crack a joke or ask about the other guy's family. Believe it or not, this is actually allowed. There's a built-in exception for casual, friendly conversation. If the tone's relaxed and there's no confrontation happening, refs are told to just let it go. Case 3. The celebration. A player scores, covers his mouth toward the crowd like he's shushing everybody. This one's judged completely differently because it's not a confrontation, so the new mouth covering rule doesn't even apply here. But if the gesture reads as mocking or taunting, it can still get punished under that older offensive gesture rule from before. Same exact hand motion, totally different legal box. So here's what I took away from all this. It's not really about the hand at all. It's about the situation surrounding the hand. Confrontation plus covered mouth equals automatic red, full stop. Friendly chat plus covered mouth equals nothing happens. Celebration plus covered mouth depends entirely on what the ref thinks you meant by it. And Paraguay's coach afterward, he basically said the call was technically correct, but he was worried this kind of rule is stripping away the soul of the sport. Meanwhile, people who've known Almiron for years were saying covering his mouth is just a personal habit of his, nothing more than that. Which honestly leaves me with a real question. Is this rule actually catching hidden abuse? Or is it punishing harmless habits just because the timing happened to look bad? Almiron missed his team's biggest match of the entire tournament over this. That's a real cost, and I think it's worth watching closely going forward. Second yellow card. Quick thing I want to clear up. 2 yellow cards equal a red, but technically that's not a straight red. It's a different category entirely. A straight red means one single action was bad enough to skip the warning system completely. And from what I've noticed, straight reds usually come with longer bans than the second yellow type. Makes sense. The punishment should match how severe the actual moment was, not just the math of 2 cards. Why this actually matters to me. So why do I even care about all this? Because one single moment can flip an entire match. A red card isn't just a personal punishment, it's a tactical disaster for the whole team. Down a man, you're defending more, running more, and somehow you're still expected to find a way to score. Honestly, once I understood why these cards get given, it changed how I watch the game entirely. I stopped yelling, "That's soft," at the screen and started actually seeing the rule being enforced in real time. So let me bring this back to where I started. One bad decision, 0 warnings, game over. A straight red really isn't about anger or violence specifically. It's about any single moment ruthless enough to break the game's basic rules of fairness and safety. Whether that's a tackle, a punch, or just a hand over your mouth at exactly the wrong moment. So here's something I keep thinking about. Should covering your mouth during an argument really carry the same punishment as a genuinely violent tackle? Drop your take in the comments. I actually read every single one. And if you're into actually understanding this sport instead of watching it confused like everybody else, you know what to do. Subscribe.